Sugar cone. Let's start with the classic sugar cone. This one's probably the most recognizable. It's crunchy, sweet, and has that golden brown, toasted look. Sugar cones are made with more sugar than most other cones, which is why they have that stronger sweetness and harder crunch. And honestly, that crunch is the whole appeal. When you bite into it, you get that snap first, then the creamy ice cream right after. That contrast just hits. Sugar cones are stronger too, so they hold heavier ice cream, better without getting soggy too fast. That's why they're perfect for loaded cones with toppings, syrups, or thick soft serve. Basically, if you like texture in every bite, sugar cones are elite. Waffle cone. Now, this is the heavyweight. The waffle cone is like the premium version of a sugar cone. Thicker, bigger, richer. It's made from waffle-style batter, which gives it that deep, buttery flavor and that signature waffle pattern. And yeah, you can smell it before you even eat it. That warm, sweet aroma, that's part of the experience. Waffle cones are softer than sugar cones at first, but still crunchy enough to hold their shape. And because they're bigger, they hold way more ice cream. That's why ice cream shops love these for giant scoops. It feels bigger, looks better, and honestly makes the dessert feel way more expensive. This is the cone you pick when you're not playing around. Cake cone. Cake cones are the underrated ones. You know those light brown cones with the flat bottom? Yeah, those. They're lighter, crispier, and way less sweet than sugar or waffle cones. The texture is more airy and crumbly, almost like a cracker. That's because cake cones use a lighter batter and less sugar. They don't overpower the ice cream. They let the ice cream do all the talking. That's why these are super common, with softer flavors, like vanilla or strawberry. And that flat bottom, low-key genius. It stands up on its own, which makes it way easier to handle. Simple, practical, solid. Pretzel cone. Now this one is kind of wild. Pretzel cones flip the whole experience. Instead of sweet, you get salty, and that changes everything. Pretzel cones have that classic pretzel flavor. Salty, toasted, slightly chewy, with a firm crunch. And when you mix salty with sweet ice cream, that combo goes crazy. Your brain loves contrast. Sweet and salty together just feel more intense. That's why flavors like caramel, chocolate, or peanut butter hit crazy hard in these. Chocolate dipped cone. Technically, this isn't a different cone base, but the coating changes the whole game. A chocolate dipped cone usually starts as a sugar or waffle cone, but the inside gets coated in melted chocolate. That layer hardens and creates a barrier, and that does two things. First, it keeps the cone from getting soggy. Second, it adds that extra chocolate bite every single time. So now every bite has crunch, chocolate, and ice cream together. Wafer cone. Wafer cones are the softer, thinner cousins of cake cones. They're lighter, more delicate, and less crunchy. The flavor is mild and slightly sweet. Nothing too strong. They're usually used in smaller servings or classic scoops, and because they're thinner, they break easier. So these are less about the cone and more about keeping the focus on the ice cream. Think of them as the chill option. Nothing fancy, just classic. Cookie cone. Now, we're getting into dangerous territory. Cookie cones are exactly what they sound like. Instead of cone batter, they're made from cookie dough. Sometimes chocolate chip, sometimes sugar cookie, sometimes even brownie based. And they're insanely rich. The texture is softer and thicker than regular cones, almost like eating dessert with your dessert, which sounds kind of crazy because it is. These are heavier, sweeter, and way more filling. Gluten-free cone. This one's been blowing up lately. Gluten-free cones are made for people who can't eat traditional cones, but honestly, they've gotten way better. Years ago, they tasted dry and kinda weird. Some are almost identical to regular cones. They use ingredients like rice flour, tapioca, or corn-based mixes to recreate the crunch. And because demand is growing, ice cream shops are taking them way more seriously. Now here's the crazy thing. The cone changes way more than just the look. A stronger cone changes how long your ice cream lasts. A sweeter cone changes the flavor balance. A crunchier cone changes the texture experience. That means the cone isn't just a holder, it's part of the dessert. And honestly, choosing the wrong cone can low-key ruin a good scoop. So next time you order ice cream, don't just pick the flavor. Pick the right cone, because now you actually know the difference. And if you want to keep discovering the hidden details behind everyday stuff, Make sure to like the video and subscribe to Explanox, because we're breaking down things you see all the time, in ways you've probably never thought about before.